Hello, America. Welcome to the Ray Amanat Show. I'm so happy. Donald Trump got inaugurated, and I was doing the happy dance all night last night. And I stayed up pretty much through all the balls. It was amazing. And I already feel so much better. But again, hello. I'm Ray Amanat. And this, of course, is the Ray Amanat Show. Those of you that want to get a hold of me, you can go to info@therayamanatshow.com for my email address. And I've got a lot I want to share with you today. We are on the OBBM network, so thank you, OBBM. Go to obbmnetwork.tv and search for the Ray Amanat Show. You can download it on your Roku and just watch us on your TV show. So for today's I'm Just Saying episode, we're interviewing Mr. Ryan Smith. It was a pre-recorded interview. I'm going to let Ryan do all the talking, but it's a wealth of information and give you something to think about as far as health insurance and life insurance. So without further ado, let's get to the video. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you guys are in social media land or TV land. Welcome to the Ray Amanat Show. I'm, of course, Ray Amanat. We're here in not so sunny Port Richey. We're tired of the North constantly sending their cold weather down to us. Knock it off. We want the sun back. I want to be able to go to my swimming pool or go to the beach and not just walk around, but actually get in the water and have some fun. So again, I'm Ray Amanat with the Ray Amanat Show, duh. And I'm here with a good friend of mine and networking partner, Mr. Ryan Smith. Welcome to the show, Ryan.
Thank you, sir.
But before we get things started, of course, this show is an opinion-based show that does not reflect any of our sponsors, affiliates, or other networks and social media platforms that feature this production. Portions of this show are pre-recorded from other sources. That's when I go to town and talk about politicians and everything else, and I dive deep where you guys can be better informed voters with what's going on. Thank God the election is over with.
Yes.
New president is in office, and he's going to town working. I'm loving it. So, Mr. Ryan Smith, you're with Omega Palms Insurance Solutions. Before we get into what that is, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your background within the insurance industry?
Yeah, most definitely, and I do appreciate you offering me the opportunity to be here today.
Sure.
To be on your show. I've been in health insurance and life insurance for the last 5.5 years. It's been one heck of a ride. It's always changing every year, something different.
So nobody wakes up and says, you know what, Mom, Dad, I think I'm going to be an insurance agent when I grow up. How did you get into this decision for getting into the field of life and health insurance?
Yes. Well, one of the main factors is I was a health insurance victim once. With that, I had something that I thought my insurance would cover, and it didn't. And thousands of dollars out of pocket was pretty expensive for a young guy in his 20s. So I definitely wanted to get into the industry to make sure that nobody else was a victim of health insurance.
And I'm sure we can talk about that a little bit more. So you can give examples of different ways people are victims of their own decisions to not have appropriate coverage for health insurance, correct?
Correct. Yes, sir.
All right, so you're also a veteran-owned business, which I love interviewing people that have served our committee, and you're still serving, but you're taking it to the next level. Hopefully, you'll be hiring other veterans to work with you or under you to deal with veteran homelessness or anything that's out. So, what's your background in the military?
Yeah, so I joined the military when I was 17, between my junior and senior year of high school. Went
He
to
looks
basic.
like he's still about 19, I guess.
Most days I don't feel that way. But, yeah, I joined the military between that junior and senior high school. Went to basic training.
What branch?
Army.
Okay.
And I joined the Army National Guard right after high school. Went to my advanced individual training, and then went straight over to Iraq. And that was 2004, 2005 time frame. Coming back from that, I grew up really quick and enjoyed my time serving. So I continue to serve to the present day. Probably do a few more years, but yeah, in April I'll have 22 years in the Army National Guard.
Well, thank you for your service and everything that you do, commitment to that. Now, let's get into your business. What is the financial dilemma happening right now? What do you mean by a financial dilemma?
Well, there's two parts to it. So there's the main thing where bankruptcy is a huge thing in the United States, and the main cause for that is a major medical issue, unexpected expenses. Most people either come down with cancer or some kind of other disease that costs hundreds of thousands of dollars to millions of dollars, and people cannot afford that. One being they don't have the correct health insurance, they don't have the correct coverage, or they don't know what their coverage is. To bring a solution to that, and what we do as agents and advisors for health insurance is we educate our clients on that.
So, pre-existing conditions, is that something that you go over, that people will say, well, I have this or I had this, am I still going to be covered for that in the future? I mean, I'm sure that's a big question that's asked.
Yes. Yeah. We do have.
I have a lot of pre-existing conditions, by the way. I'm sure most of you know.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of products out there that are guaranteed issue, which means that if you do have a pre-existing condition, that they will accept you and they will cover those pre-existing conditions. Some products out there, they'll cover you, but they'll exclude that pre-existing condition coverage. So that's what people have to be aware of, is what their coverage is. And then get back to the second part of the financial dilemma out there is baby boomers. So baby boomers are coming to that age where they're turning 65 and they're getting into Medicare and Social Security, which are government funded programs.
Right.
10,
I'm not there yet, but hey.
Yeah, you're getting there.
Yeah.
10,000 baby boomers are turning 65 every day. And, that's a large number. And those funds from the government to fund Medicare and Social Security, I don't believe in a lot of, financial experts
Confidence,
out there.
Right.
They also believe that the government wasn't ready for this. They've known about it for a long time, but they weren't ready for it because there's more people turning 65 than those funds can handle. So there's more money going out to those programs than there is money coming in as taxes.
Right.
So that's a huge dilemma right now.
Now, this is me. You could say I'm a conspiracy theorist or whatever, but with Donald Trump being put back into office, do you think he's going to come up with policy? Well, with what he's doing to curb wasted spending and get a lot of that money to go back to Social Security and go back to Do you think that is going to help with the influx of baby boomers that are turning 65 and relying on Social Security?
Oh yeah, I definitely believe that will help. Another thing too, I mean, this has been an issue for a while, and I mean, there's a lot of catching up to do. So yeah, that will definitely help. But like I said, there's a lot of work to do for that.
Right. So you've got what is our most largest underfunded liability?
Yeah, it's long-term care. A
Can
lot of
you
people.
explain long-term care? Because this is something that I've, in other networking groups that I've been a part of, I had somebody that's all they did was long-term care, whereas they paid for it so that when they were ready for, and correct me if I'm wrong, but when they were ready for independent or assisted living, that's what that covered, where I don't have to sell everything. Am I on the right page?
Yeah, you're right on the right track. Yeah, long-term care. I mean, it's on the mind of a lot of people that are nearing retirement or in retirement right now. There wasn't really much education on, like, hey, we need to prepare for the future. There's a lot of people out there that are in their 60s and 70s and they're looking at long-term care insurance, calling me and say, hey, what can you do? And I look at them like, well, you might have to win the lottery to pay for that. You might as well just put your money and save it. Um, and then, I go through, say, with your current situation, you might have to expend all your retirement.
So for long-term care, you really want to look at when you're in your 30s and 40s, or so that by the time you retire, you'll have enough saved in that um, what would you call it?
And that fund.
That fund, long-term care fund. So when you need it, you're not expending all of your retirement or funding that you've saved up over the years.
Right. Yeah. So there's a couple strategies we can do. I mean, if you're in your mid 50s and 60s, there is a thing called long-term care annuity, and we specialize in strategizing that for individuals where they get into a contract with a life insurance company, and they have an annuity that has a long-term care rider on it, and it's there for retirement. But if you need long-term care at some point in your life, which 7 out of 10 people will require that someday, they can actually initiate that rider, and the life insurance company is going to help pay that bill for long-term care.
Gotcha. You getting all this? People, wake the cluck up. We're here to educate. We're here to inform. Those of you that would like more information, make sure you get a hold of this guy. So, how do you strategize life insurance as a tax-free retirement income source or a build-your-own banking system? That's a lot. This is a question that he gave to me to ask him. It's not that I'm this know-it-all guy that knows what to ask. He's the guy that this is the information he wants you guys all to know. So
Yes.
let us in.
I'm very passionate about this one. Life insurance is, it's not just for when you die. You can actually use life insurance and leverage it while you're still alive. All right, there's policies out there that have living benefits. So if you're diagnosed with cancer or some kind of terminal disease, you can get part of that death benefit to pay for, your bucket list things or expenses, make sure your family's taken care of, or experimental treatments that have a good success rate, but your health insurance doesn't cover it.
That Donald Trump made available for you to try. Thank you. I'm a Trump fan. What can I say?
Yep. But with that too, I mean, life insurance, like you asked, is that tax-free retirement income, or that build your own banking system. So, have you been to Walt Disney World?
Not since I was a kid.
Okay, but you know of it, right?
Yes.
It's famous.
Yes.
And have you ever been to a J.C. Penney's?
Yes.
All right. So two businesses right there, and there's multiple businesses out there that are a good, I don't know, I'd say like a model of how to use life insurance. So J.C. Penney back in the Great Depression, he had a life insurance policy, and he had most of his money in that life insurance policy. And as you know, the Great Depression came, stock market crashed, all his savings was saved in a life insurance policy because it wasn't tied to the market.
Right.
So he actually used that money that he had in his life insurance policy to start JCPenney's.
So, ladies and gentlemen, when COVID happened, that pretty much shut me down, where it depleted my retirement and it depleted my savings, to where it's nothing. If I had what you're talking about right now, the life insurance policy that, if I had that, I don't have that. I could have used that to kind of give me a little bit of a cushion to not lose everything that I had.
Right. And the best thing about it is it's penalty free. So to take a loan or take income from it, you're not paying a penalty.
Taxes or anything like that.
You're not paying taxes. That's a huge thing. So, tax free, depending on, what kind of situation you are with your life and what tax bracket you are, that tax free income can be a huge, huge like lifesaver for your retirement.
Right.
But build your own banking system too. Like Walt Disney World, he couldn't get a loan to start Walt Disney. Guess what? He took a loan out of his own life insurance policy to go for that. And that's what we do.
See, this is where I wish, hindsight, I'm in my 50s, but near 60, I wish I would have spoke to more people, or I wish I would have actually networked like I do now back when I was in my 20s and 30s. Back then I thought I knew everything. I didn't need to network. I just do what I do. And I really see the value in networking. And I'm learning so much now. And I wish I knew then what I'm learning now, to where I would be in a financial better place. But I'm going to be there. Don't worry. That's why you need to like, share, subscribe, and build this up so I can monetize this and have this be a part of my life insurance policy in the future. So people can get a hold of you. And when I do the show again after I do the editing, you guys will see this a little bit clearer than on this TV screen back. But if you want to get a hold of Mr. Ryan Smith, what's your military?
My rank?
Yeah.
Sergeant Major.
So if you want to get a hold of Sergeant Major Ryan Smith, you can call him at 727-232-4050. You can email him at info@opisolutionsusa.com or visit his website at opisolutions.com. Thank you for the education. Let's get into our next thing. I always, both of us are in an industry where it's what if this happens, and what can we do to get help, or what can we do to keep ourselves safe from financial burden or personal safety. If you're dealing with domestic violence at home, or if you see neighbors or family members going through domestic violence, please use this number and let people get the help that they need. Call 1-800-799-SAFE. If you're thinking about suicide, I know a lot of veterans commit suicide or think about it. If you know of somebody that's going through tough times and is struggling, and you have a feeling they're going to hurt themselves or do something, help them out and give them this number for the suicide prevention hotline at 1-800-273-TALK. And you always hear people say, if you see something, say something. If you see any type of crime, suspicious vehicles in your neighborhood, people that shouldn't be there watching our children. I know you have a young daughter. I don't think you want some creepy guy checking out your child. But if you see something that we might not be aware of, you can call Crime Stoppers USA, make an anonymous tip at 1-800-222-TIPS. As always, wake the clock up, America. Be informed in all the decisions that you make. If you want to get a hold of Ryan, we'll come up with all of his contact information again. But make informed decisions as far as health insurance, life insurance, banking, finances, and as always, your personal safety. I'm back, and I hope you guys enjoyed that interview with Mr. Ryan Smith. And what I want to do again is he's with Omega Palms Insurance, and you can get a hold of him. His phone number is 727-232-4050. Email him at info@opisolutionsusa.com. Check out his website at opisolutionsusa.com. That's all the time I have for you guys tonight. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe on YouTube. Let's get our numbers up. I'd like to get the viewership up. So take care, and we'll see you on the next show. We've got more interviews coming in the near future. Take care. Welcome to the Ray